right, Psalm 65. Let's call this one Party in Your Courts, understanding that this is one of three praise chapters, as we said, that is sandwiched in the middle of God's business chapters, where he is handling business with various adversaries in this set of 7 chapters. However, in this one, he is going to start off, or at least David's going to start off, saying that praise is due to you, God, who hears prayers and atones for transgressions, as he is going to go on in the next set of verses to say that blessed is the one whom you choose to bring near to you in your courts. Thus the title, as he is going to go on to talk about the way, once again, the entire world stands in awe of God's awesome deeds, stating that there are a number of things that God has done in nature, whether it's in the earth, in the year or the calendar, the way he sorts out time and controls time, the pastures, the hills, the meadows, and the valleys. And the thing that I think might stand out that isn't specifically stated in the chapter, that is ultimately more impressive than any of the things that God has done, might be his people. Thus the title, in his courts, because verse 4 is going to say, blessed is the one you choose and bring near to dwell in your courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of your house, the holiness of your temple. Verse 5 is going to go on to say, though, by awesome deeds you answer us with righteousness, reminding me once again of the way in which the blessings that God gives come along with responsibility and accountability, understanding that the best blessing in this chapter might not be the stuff that he gives in his court, but the fact that he gives us access to his courts at all. Understanding that verse 3 says, when iniquities prevail against me, you atone for our transgression. But that whole concept of righteousness in verse 5, which is what God gives to those he draws near to him, reminds us that he's not just giving away free stuff. He's giving away stuff that has or maintains a certain integrity. And so we have talked about that whole concept of integrity, but likewise of being genuine, meaning that we are not only projecting a healthy image, but we have a healthy reality in our character to back that up. And the reason why that came to mind this time was this passage describing God's courts reminded me of how much more excellent they have to be than Solomon's court, reminding us that in Israel's heyday, Solomon had them elevated to a level that attracted the attention and the praise of the entire world. And so if we look at ourselves amongst God's creation from the perspective of Genesis 1, a creation that he described as good at the end of creation day 1, good at the end of creation day 2, so on and so forth, to the point at which he created man, a day that he described as very good. I am led to believe that just as God puts his creation on display in a way that would attract the entire world to better understand that he didn't design us to be good, he didn't design us to be very good. He designed us to ultimately be perfected. That likewise, he is putting us on display, much like you would look at a display in a window to advertise not only a good image, but a product that lives up to being reliable and everything it's advertised as being and more. And so this seems to be another chapter that gives us another chance to look back at that old question of character, this time understanding where we rank in God's creation insofar as he has atoned for us in a way that would make us welcomed into the kind of courts he would put on display. The question then becomes, understanding where we rank amongst his creation, at least on this earth, are we developing the kind of character that he would want to put on display?